So as you know, today was supposed to be a fun video. I was gonna lip sync to the first act of Hamilton, and I recorded all of it, but it didn't feel right. So today I'm going to talk about the shooting that happened at Pulse nightclub this past weekend, and how it's made me feel. It's probably not going to be a very concise video. I'm probably going to say and pause a lot. I haven't really talked about it because I haven't really known and been able to process it very well. But yeah. Here you go. I woke up on Sunday morning, and the first thing I do when I wake up is I go on my phone. So I went on Facebook, and I saw that there had been a shooting at Pulse, the nightclub, and that 20 people had been killed, because that's what people thought it was 20 people. And I couldn't stop thinking about how you and I were going to go to that club, and how I was so happy that I hadn't, and guilty that I felt happy, because that could have been me. And then I went through every single one of my friends that I knew that wasn't straight, and one by one asked them if they were all okay. And I got answers from all of them. They were all okay. And that was around the time that I found out that it was actually 50 people. And it was the biggest mass shooting in American history. And that's when it blew up. Everyone started talking about it. It was everywhere, and people were changing their profile pictures, and it didn't feel real. If that makes sense. It's like, when you hear about stuff like this happening, like when I think of terrorism or mass shootings, I think of like Sandy Hook or Boston or Paris. Like, I don't think of here. Like, I don't think of Orlando and think of that. I think of Orlando and I think of the Amway Arena and all the Solar Bears games we go to. Or I think about that time that you walked me through downtown Orlando to surprise me with tickets to the Heathers. And I don't associate it with that. And then suddenly I saw the word Orlando everywhere and the hashtag Pray for Orlando, and it didn't feel real, and it keeps hitting me, and it kept hitting me that day, and it still like doesn't fully feel real. And then it was just the waiting. Just waiting for the list of people to come out. Terrified out of my mind that I was going to recognize someone. And that entire time, just sitting there thinking, it could have been me. It could have been me, it could have been you, it could have been Molly, it could have been Sam, it could have been Melinda. All of these people that I love and cherish could have been dead, and I would have been able to do nothing. And I didn't know how to wrap my head around it. And Dad and I just kept staring at the news. And waiting for updates. And it was the same information, the same few names over and over again. And I remember there's this mom showing these last texts that you've seen probably floating around. And I remember the second that they got those texts, or they were shown those texts. And I remember it said, "I love you, Mommy," was the first of the ones that they showed. And then it was him describing where he was and being afraid that he was going to die. And I remember thinking that the first thing I would do if I was in that situation would be to call my parents. This man was scared. He was scared. So he contacted his mom. And how she was mentioning that she hadn't heard from him since then. He was one of the people that died. And then I saw clips later of a woman who was crying hysterically because she didn't know where her son was. He was one of the people that died. I don't know how to deal with this. I don't know how to process this. What are you supposed to do for something like this? It's weird because I sat there and I was surrounded by people because Danny was there and Mom was in and out. And I think Trish was in there at one point. Dad was sitting there next to me, but I felt so alone. And I missed you more in that moment than I've missed you since you left. Like, I wanted you there, and I wanted you to hold me. Because, God, I needed you. I know that you're out there, and you're having fun, even with all of the terrible things going on here, but I guess I just really needed you. And I feel like for a moment he won, I guess, because I was terrified, out of my mind. I was like, should I act less gay? If I ever get a girlfriend, should I kiss her in public? Should I even hold her hand? Should I avoid gay clubs? Should I become a lesser version of myself so that I don't get killed? I decided against that eventually, but for a few moments I feel like he won, and that makes me upset. Because we're supposed to fight for it, you know? Like, that's what happens when you come out. When you come out, any LGBT person can tell you, you inherit a fight that you didn't ask for. You fight to have basic human rights. You fight to have children. You fight for the right to marry, for the right to be with the person you care about. You fight to be treated like a human being. You fight for the right to use the bathroom of the gender you identify as. And you're constantly explaining to people that don't want to hear it what you are, what you need. People that are tired of hearing about it because you guys are married. You guys can get married right now. What else do you want? I guess I'm just tired of fighting. God, it's 2016 and this happened. How? Why? I don't understand. I don't understand why. I guess that's a lie. Because I think I do understand. We're in a culture that demonizes and dehumanizes all that we do not understand. I think if you go to that man, and I refuse to say his name, I think if you go through his Facebook feed, you'll probably from a few weeks ago see articles that talk about how trans people are perverts who will prey on your children, or how gay people should not show public displays of affection because it's bad for children. This man saw those two people kissing in Miami, and he decided that he was disgusted. And his solution was to go to those clubs, go on those apps to talk about those clubs, find out one that was popular, scope it out, so that he knew the outline, how the building was, what it looked like, where the exits were. And he went in there, And one by one, he methodically killed them off. Like they were less than human, like they were animals. That kind of hate doesn't come out of nowhere. People that say hateful things and call transgender people perverts, that think that loving someone of the same gender is something perverted and wrong, they contribute to what he did. It's not the same thing, of course. It's not the same thing, but the confusion leads to resentment. The resentment leads to hate. The hate leads to the demonizing. The demonizing leads to the dehumanizing. And the dehumanizing leads to thinking of a group of people as less than human just because you don't understand them. It leads to those acts of terror and those acts of hate, and it leads to what happened. I could say that I don't understand why this happened, but I think I kind of do, because there's so much hate in the world. And I want to spread love. I want to talk about how there's so much love. And don't get me wrong, seeing all of the Empire State Building lit up and all of places all over the world lit up in the rainbow colors, it's comforting. It is. And it's been so beautiful to feel a little bit less alone in all of this. But it's just, I'm so tired. I'm so tired of fighting. I'm so tired of fighting for the right to exist and live and be happy. And I know it was so much harder for people in the past. I mean, they used to think being gay was a mental illness, but I want to exist to not be afraid anymore. Because I was already afraid even before this happened. I want to not be scared for my friends, the people that I love. I want me kissing a girl to not be a political act. I want my existence to not be a political act. I don't want to be in a world that makes things like this happen. So we need to change it. Yes. This probably doesn't even make much sense. I'm sorry. I just kind of talked a lot. I don't know what I'm supposed to say. I feel this weird mix of numb and sad and disbelief, I guess, like, because it keeps hitting me and it doesn't even feel real. I'm still not sure that I fully know what I'm feeling or thinking. It's just there's a few things that I want. I want assault rifles to not be sold to people that the FBI have been watching. I want for LGBT people to not be seen as a subspecies, as an other, as a different type of person. I just want them to be seen as people. I just want us to be seen as people. I want more love. Please. And when you talk about it, don't say it's a nightclub. call it a gay nightclub, because those people were killed because of the fact that they were LGBT. Do not erase that a part of their identity because it makes you uncomfortable. And if it does make you uncomfortable, maybe you should take a good hard look at just why it makes you uncomfortable. Okay. I think that covers what I can think of. And hopefully this is all under 15 minutes so I can upload it. I love you, Deanna. I love you so much. I can't wait for you to be back so that I can hug you. I hope that you're doing okay. I love you very much. I'll see you soon.